Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Z! Yeah, so explain that for people.
So, we
decided to make things interesting for you, the viewer. So at the end of that, every trial day, we're going to reference a different actual show, but make it Phoenix Wright related.
Yeah.
With the exception of the first one, because I was introducing this whole thing we're doing. We should have explained this in the beginning of the first video.
However,
we didn't think about it at the time. But
so, of course, we decided to start with the most famous. Next time.
One of the three most famous ones. Well, soon to be four.
Yeah.
4 most famous shows of all time.
Yeah.
And if you can figure out what it is, leave a comment in there. Just like, subscribe, and like all of our videos, because we love you all. Alright, now I'm going to take control. Back from my co-host. October 19th, 3:27 p.m. Wright and Co. Lofts. That was a close one, huh, Mia? Really? Too bad, I'm sorry I missed it. God damn it, she's back. Maya! I love you, Maya! In a completely non-sexualized way because you're 17 and it would be illegal. You realize your scroll's tilted, right? So what happened? Well, I think I've got a pretty good idea who did it. Now all I need is a motive. And proof. Wow! Good going, Nick! Under the initial trial system, tomorrow is the last day we have. Initial trial? What's that? This is where they explains the whole fucking concept of it, a lot of things, too. That's the new court system they introduced about 2 or 3 years ago. They had so many cases in the system, they decided to speed the whole process up. So, under that system, trials have to end in 3 days? Yeah, pretty much. Well, we've no time to waste. What'd you like? What'd you like?
Mr. Wright, you did very well again today. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Could you not look like you're about to burst into tears? Wow, Nick, you must have really wowed them in there. And could you wipe that grin off your face? Hey, WP, only 1 day left. Let's make it count.
Yes. Though there's not really anything I can do to help.
I'm not really sure what I can do either. Please, this is no laughing matter. Could you tell me more about Miss Vasquez?
Oh, the producer.
We don't really have you be sitting there not paying attention to it.
She's well respected in the industry. They say she's a genius.
A genius?
She's been at Global Studios for 5 years now. Right or wrong, nobody dares tell her different these days.
Why is that?
Ever since she came on board, we've had nothing but hits. Global Studios was on its knees, but she picked it up and made it shine. Oh, and
what?
Nothing, forget it. I've only heard rumors anyway. Anyhow.
I was wondering about Mr. Hammer. He was a big star back in the day, right? But then he just dropped off the face of the earth.
Oh. You're right. He was my role model when I started in the business. But he just stopped taking big roles. That's when he began appearing in little productions at Global.
How could he do that? I was really looking forward to a sequel to Samurai Summer.
He just gave up being a star 5 years ago. Actually, now that I think about it, that was right when Ms. Vasquez came to Global.
5 years ago. Can you tell me anything about Mr. Manila?
Oh, he used to be a minor straight-to-video director. But something in his work caught Vasquez's eye. She brought the steel samurai idea to him. Now everyone knows the name Salmonella. I hear he's very much at her beck and call, though. Whenever she says jump, he asks how high and all that.
I can imagine him being a head beck and call, though I can't imagine him jumping. The old windbag sure is quiet today. You know, this place is really peaceful like this. Nick, I think our guard's down. Yeah? I bet we could even eat those donuts in the guard station if we wanted. Oh, she's alive. I was wondering what D-Beska is, the producer. She seems bitter. No, like the producer. Can I ask you about Salmonella, the director? Huh? Why would anyone like being treated like that? Oh, you naive young little child. It doesn't make any sense, does it, Nick? No, it doesn't, Maya. We know otherwise. He's a sub. About Mr. Hammer. Uh-oh, she's really pissed this time. I'm gonna skip some of this. Because I really don't feel like voicing this all the way through. And I already got 3 hours on this.
Yeah, we should voice the important bits, though.
That's true. I wonder if someone called him like the director, the producer. I went the wrong way anyway. That's why it doesn't really do it. We need to go this way.
So we do need to wrap it up, because one of us has to work tomorrow.
I know. Guess they're not filming today either. I didn't want to see them filming just one time. This trial will be over and done by tomorrow. You can come see them film later. I guess. This is where you found that bottle of sleeping pills, right? Uh-huh. I wonder if there's any other clues lying in there. That's your line!
No touching. Oh, sorry, pal. Didn't mean to frighten you.
You didn't mean I was a heart attack!
Guess I can be a little dramatique at times. I suppose it's the actor in me.
Dramatique indeed.
Anyway, I'm here to examine the plate on that table.
Wait, are you looking for sleeping pills?
Yeah, pal. Traces thereof.
So you're looking for traces of the sleeping pills how?
For a thorough examination, I gotta take the plate back to the precinct. But I have the capabilities to make a cursory examination right here. Our science guy gave me some testing solution. This reacts to those sleeping pills. See if there's traces, it'll change color.
Wow! Neato! Well, Detective Gumshoe, what are you waiting for?
Now, everything in due time, pal. Well, the tested solution on the plate changed color, all right. So the food on the plate has
So
been
the
laced.
food on this plate has been laced in sleeping pills. I just realized that was mine.
Looks like it.
That's probably that's worth doing anyway.
Mr. Edgeworth is out of control. He was in the waiting room when he crushed this paper cup with hot coffee in it.
Ouch. Whoa.
Talk about birds, pal.
Pow! The fury of Edgeworth!
Yeah, crushing paper cups. Cups? Bottles? Say, whatever happened to that empty bottle?
Oh, the bottle of sleeping pills? Well, I got some good news for you about that. They found the victim jackhammer's prints on the bottle.
So that means...
Yep, it sounds like the one who put Powers to sleep was none other than the victim.
So I was right. How goes your investigation?
Tell the truth, it's a real mess, pal. Some people think we should pursue the case we already have against Powers. And some people think we should switch suspects.
What do you think, Detective Punisher?
Well, pal, I hate to admit it, but I'm not sure I buy the case against Mr. Powers anymore. I feel kind of bad for Mr. Edgeworth, though. Oh, hello. This is what?
That was a little masculine. What are you saying?
This assistant keeps popping up everywhere.
I know.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I was just cleaning up the dressing room. I guess WP won't be using it anymore, so...
What? Why? But WP's innocent!
Yes, and I'm really grateful for all of you've done. But this week is the last episode of Steel Samurai.
What? No! But what do you mean the last Steel Samurai?
I know it's a shot, but nothing can be done to save it now. Whoever really did kill Mr. Hammer also signed the Steel Samurai's death warrant.
No. No!
Also, I hear that Global Studios is going to change its programming. They're not going to make kid shows anymore.
What? Why?
I don't know. It's sad, but that's what Global Studios decided.
I was wondering if I could ask you about Mr. Hammer.
Yes?
On the day of the murder, he went to Studio 2.
Huh? I thought he went to Studio 1.
He stole the Steel Samurai costume too.
What? Why did Mr. Hammer do something like that? Oh. I guess the rumor must have been true then.
The rumor?
Yeah. It was best because that producer had some kind of hold on Hammer. He had some dirt on him. He'd do anything she said, apparently.
Some dirt? What dirt?
Dirt, you know, bad stuff.
I know what dirt means.
About 5 years ago, they were filming a movie starring Mr. Hammer. They were using the new studio, Studio 2. Some sort of accident happened during filming. After that, they never used Studio 2 again. They left the film set the way it was, too.
Film set? Was that trailer part of the film set then?
Why are they going to make kids shows anymore?
Why are they going to make intros anymore? Thanks for catching that.
The studio bigwigs don't want the Steel Samurai around anymore. They want to forget all this ever happened. They want it quiet, you understand?
How could they just do that? What about all the kids who love the Steel Samurai?
It's okay, I'm sure the kids will be fine. They'll find a new hero to follow.
No! That can't be true! If the program just ends, they'll be heartbroken for sure! Nick, say something!
Yeah. I think evidence rather than words is called for that right here. Take a look at this.
Take that!
Here's your line.
And this is...
A fan collected all these photographs. The kids love the Steel Samurai. The show shouldn't be canceled just so some adults can save face. I would think you would understand that better than anyone.
You're right. Okay. What can I do?
Well, for starters, you can tell me something. Tell me what it is that Global Studios is so intent on hiding. Tell me about this accident 5 years ago.
Okay.
Did you tell us what happened 5 years ago?
Well, I can tell you what I've heard. Apparently 5 years ago, someone died in this camera's fault.
Someone died?
It was an accident, of course. Anyway, producer Miss Vasquez managed to hush it up.
And that's the debt she had on Miss Hammer. On Mr. Hammer.
And that's why Mr. Hammer would do anything Miss Vasquez asked him to do.
Stop stealing my lines. As much as I don't like doing Maya, I might as well keep going through then.
But it was an accident, right? Why didn't they just make it public?
You gotta remember, you claimed Maya right at the start.
I know. I regret doing that.
Well, you know, Mr. Hammer was a big star back then.
You're still better than your falsetto to be in my voice.
They were afraid about what would happen to his career if word got out.
I see.
You know who knows more about this? Ms. Oldbag. She was here at the studios back then, you know. This Penny is connected somehow because she is showing up fucking everywhere.
She's an assistant. You want me to spoil something for you?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you at the end of this night. Thanks. We'll try asking her if she'll talk.
The old windbag doesn't look so good. She's starting to froth at the mouth, Nick. Maybe we should keep a safe distance.
I wanted to ask you about 5 years ago. Huh? Nichols?
Nichols, Nick. Penny Nichols, that assistant we talked to.
Oh, right. I never knew her last name either.
Neither did I.
Anyway, we heard about the accident. He was during filming with the jackhammer. Killed a man, didn't he? No, I'm just doing my job to protect Mr. Powers. There you go. Do I have proof? I'm pretty sure I do.
What about the blades laced with sleeping pills?
That's right. I'm sorry, Mr. Lloyd, but I do have proof. I can prove that Mr. Hammer stole Mr. Powers' casket. Mr. Powers ate a T-bone steak for lunch, correct? This is the plate that he used to eat that steak. That traces a sleeping pill powder on the plate. Except I have proof that Mr. Hammer put the pills in. This bottle contains sleeping pills. Mr. Hammer's fingerprints were found on the bottle.
Miss Oldbag?
It's Oldbag.
I see. Oldbag. Poor Miss Oldbag.
A photograph. Second. Is this the trailer in Studio 2? But how did you get this? That's depressing.
It really is. Everybody's name sounds so fake too.
The
Well,
best guess?
a lot of them do. I mean, Jackhammer. That sounds like he made up that name.
He's an actor.
Yeah,
Will Powers. That sounds like a normal name.
that does. Jackhammer though.
Jackhammer. Sounds like a porn name.
It really does. Yeah, it really does.
Sorry, little adult humor there. We apologize for any kids who are watching this. You probably should be watching something else.
Yeah.
Like Steel Samurai. But
Okay. Grown.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you all.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Hey, Nick, it's Miss Vasquez. Hello? Hello? Huh? Hello?
Maya, you should at least try to be polite.
I'm watching the clouds.
That's all she had to say, apparently.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Hammer came here on the day of the letter and...
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I'm watching the clouds. I'm not interested in talking to you.
Do something, Nick. She's really taking me off.
Oh dear. That's fine. I'll solve this the old-fashioned way. She's not even looking.
Where?
What?
Where did you get that? Old bag.
Old?
She means the security lady. Miss Oldbag, Nick.
Right. Anyway, Miss Vasquez, you hid this incident from the press, didn't you? And you used it to control Mr. Hammer.
The wind.
Huh?
It's getting stronger, don't you think? The wind. Your conversation interests me. Let's talk about it more inside the trailer.
Nick, she lives inside the trailer.
Had to check that.
You came. What was that you were talking about?
Why is she so eager to talk all of a sudden? Miss Vasquez, you were using that accident. You were blackmailing Mr. Hammer so you could control him, weren't you? That's why he was doing kids shows for petty change.
So the blackmailer.
Well, that's what it was, wasn't it?
I mean, sure, it was an accident, but you used it to drag Mr. Hammer down from his rightful place as a star.
No. I haven't pulled anyone down from anywhere. Mr. Hammer's career went sour of his own accord.
But you were the cause. You pressured him into thinking it was just an accident.
Excuse me? What is this all about? You keep saying accident, accident. How are you so sure?
What do you mean?
Must I spell everything out for you? Think, what would it be if it wasn't an accident?
No. No way! You mean Mr. Hammer did it on purpose?
That is what I mean.
Where's your proof? Can you prove it?
Just think. Would he have let me run his life for 5 years over a mere accident?
Yes.
And I ran him hard, believe you me.
That sounded so sexual.
But the security lady said it was an accident.
Oh. Well, she's a big fan of cameras, you see. She jumped on the reporter and brought that photo into the studio. She wrenched it out of his hand. She gave him a few bruises, too.
Hmm. So that's why she had the photo.
She's an old fool. Of course, all the reporter would need is the negative. He couldn't make a copy. But he didn't. The only copy of that photo is the one you hold. Give it to me, now.
What? This is valuable evidence.
Boys.
Huh. Wonder what they were hiding. Who are they?
Professionals. They're good at racing various things. What do you think? Would you like to be a race?
What?
The trial ends tomorrow. How unfortunate. Today, you'll have to miss it.
Tell me why. Why do you want this photograph so badly? This is Mr. Hammer's dirt, no? Why should D. Vasquez care about it at all?
I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to think about that where you're going. So long, friends. Boys, a race away.
No!
Hold it right there. I heard everything, pal. D. Vasquez, you're coming down to the precinct with me now.
Not bad. Very well. Your Grace's contest will be decided tomorrow then, in court. I'll be looking forward to it.
Hey, you okay, pal? Sorry I was so late with my entrance. I don't get many chances to practice that sort of thing.
Detective Gumshoe. Thank you. Thank you. I was really scared.
Don't mention it, pal. Just doing my job.
Detective Gumshoe?
Sorry, it's just I wanted to say that line ever since I became a detective. Okay, I've got one more job to do today. I'm sure we'll run into each other again soon.
Well, Nick, looks like we're getting close to the bottom of this.
And who's at the bottom? D. Vasquez. That's the shortest investigation we've had. Time for court. The final day. Dun dun dun.
You'd think Phoenix Wright would go do some self-defense training with them. I mean, this is two cases where someone's tried to rough him up.
I know.
Yep.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. I never get tired of saying that line.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement.
In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear.
Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls Ms. D. Vasquez to the stand. Ms. D. Dee Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? That's my turn to talk to myself.
Yep.
Dee Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes. I dislike this matter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here.
Oh, look at me. Oh, God. We only need like half an hour to get through this.
What?
You only need a half an hour to get through this, not less. Very well, Ms. Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder.
Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay.
Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down. So to speak. There's not an image we needed to put into people's heads.
I entered the trailer a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so I went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on a table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all.
I have a question about one body of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you.
The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with that monkey's head toppling over.
I see. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Mr. Firebelly, let's do it!
As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak, but I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate. This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind.
Mr. Wright, need I remind you, it was a T-bone steak.
Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manila ate at a table outside that trailer. Yet, there were no bones left on the plate. The plates were bare! Miss Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. Shit, I fucked up. I didn't even...
Okay, read the
steak, but I don't even know. Hey, I don't need it either. Mr. Wright, I too leave the bone. Can I try that again? I didn't even realize what the one was.
You ate the bone too!
You ate the bone too! You didn't eat the steak! You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere. Like that incinerator. I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with that steel samurai. Order. Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the steel samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous?
What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it.
Yes.
Fascinating. And here I was, learning that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I.
Any day, Vasquez.
Good luck, Rick.
Let's see. What was that rare weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear.
Yes.
I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How can I possibly use that?
I think you would have a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would.
Huh. See?
Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case.
Meaning?
The samurai spear was not the murder weapon.
What?
What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon, because the samurai spear was broken. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon.
But that is the murder weapon.
Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through, but someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this? Through the chest!
Order. Nope.
Order. Order!
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about your silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Oof. I feel like I'm beginning to lose control of this trial. And my witness.
Let's get his line.
Are you quite sane?
Are you even aware of what you're saying? That's you.
Are you even aware of what you're saying?
How did he
If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon. It's not the van. Well, that would be a great murder weapon.
Yes.
Look at this photo. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order! Order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This photo is of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios.
What does this have to do with the current case?
Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest?
What? Are you saying?
Yes. What happened 5 years ago? Has happened again!
Mr. Wright,
Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Misty Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer himself had done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say.
In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die 5 years ago.
Kind of like karma. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? That'd be the better term for it.
Very creative, Mr. Wright. I can use a memory to my script writing staff.
You deny this? What I say is true?
Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died in the trailer as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have dropped off the body?
You disposed of the body?
Well, disposed of the body. The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. When Jack Hammer had been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume. There wasn't enough time.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands?
For instance?
Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was there was a way for you to carry that body.
Interesting. Let's hear it.
Mr. Wright, please show how she carried the body.
The man.
The band. Ms. Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1. And you used the studio van to do it. We call your testimony.
There was to be a rehearsal after, so we went to Studio 1. I was 15, so I had sound. Right there, right? I had sound, right?
You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume.
Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator?
Of course Salmonella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue?
No, you're smarter than you, Mr. Wright. I lose, you win. It was fun.
I win? So what happens next? Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say?
What would you like me to say?
Huh? I lost? Something like that?
I just said...
Wait, so you mean... D. Vasquez, so it was you! You killed Jack Hammer! You think that's it?
Who can say?
Huh?
Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. As a result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer.
Right!
But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright.
What? She actually has a point.
Order.
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Of course, it's the witness X. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof.
Edgeworth isn't sure.
Well, I came here as a witness again. If there's no more questions, I'll be with you.
Alright, what do I do now? I'd like you to testify again. Testify again.
No one to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I wish to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before, the truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time.
Damn! To come so far only to fail. As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting. I didn't.
I see. Very well.
Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about?
Well, yes, indeed, verily, I say ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body. Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Nick, why did Edgeworth...
Who knows? He probably realized she did it too, but
wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that...
Edgeworth.
I also sound old bag, secured the lady when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady at old bag was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he didn't. I asked to be left after the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my instructor direction notes. Then I went home.
Let's see if we can... I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need to twist the truth out of her, Nick.
Right. Do you know what the problem is?
Not off the top of my head.
Really? It should be blatantly obvious in a testimony.
I'm sure it will be once you point it out.
Yep. The scripting or direction notes.
Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen.
No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes?
Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything.
Why?
There was a murder. Who could think of rehearsing after that?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please continue.
Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement.
Huh?
Think. Ms. Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know. She would have to know about the murder before going to Studio 1.
Order! Mr. Edgeworth. What you've just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense?
I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Ms. Vasquez, do you have an explanation?
I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me.
So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense? What kind of work is this? No matter. I think you misunderstand me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Very well, the witness will change your testimony to reflect this reason.
I knew that Hannah was injured and couldn't do any action scenes that I left them behind.
You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers.
What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Pretending?
One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured?
I already said it was Sal who told me. But that's right, you must have gotten it wrong.
I think not. Mr. Manila was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez? Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Oh, and when was he doing this?
Well, it would have to be been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered.
Exactly! Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping! And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit! That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order. Order! I will have order!
Witness? Can you refute this claim?
Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez.
Very well. I have a question for you.
Eric, why are the real killers always so persistent?
Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he followed him hard times. He was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing.
Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? Of course. Here I have proof and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? "5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial, it began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom.
His
guilt weighed him down no doubt.
However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change.
Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as an evil magistrate.
Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the X-Star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We're talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to that, what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder. I'll let you into this one.
No. Remember, this is...
Oh, I know. I know what it is, but I'm asking what you would say.
You probably have some evidence.
She didn't have a motive. She's right. Why would she kill him? She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Ms. Vasquez did was push him off the stairs. In self-defense.
How?
It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Ms. Vasquez.
What? What? Yeah, I know.
Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the steel samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had been so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. So you did do it, didn't you?
Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez?
In the waiting room, Your Honor, as calm and connected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. It appears that you've brought yet another miracle. Thank you, Your Honor.
I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned.
October 20th,
1:12 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 3.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez. But to think that he tried to frame me for the murder. makes me sad.
So what? Right?
Huh?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was the Steel Samurai.
Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kid's show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you.
After that, you say he could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time.
I think you're missing the point.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
So am I. So am I.
Congratulations, WP!
Oh, thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume, man. Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Ah! Nick, Edgeworth!
Say something, Wright. I'm not good at small talk.
Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth.
You don't waste any time gloating, do you?
No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in.
I'm pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers.
Liar.
Right? I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Meet again?
However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings.
Unnecessary feelings.
Yes, unease and uncertainty.
Aren't those kind of necessary?
They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix, right? Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you.
Huh.
Mr. Wright? Was that guy your friend?
Not friends, as if they're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick?
For now we are, I guess.
Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth?
And so the curtain closed on another trial. Of course, quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. It went back to making kid shows again. Told you. I told you. See it again.
Nick, this is it. The new show starts today. You're gonna watch with me, right?
I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it.
You have to buy training cards too, okay? You have to train with Cody and the assistant.
Fine, I'll do it.
Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again?
Actually, it's kind of creepy.
I wonder if they'll show his real face this time.
I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the Wheel of Powers.
The end. And that, well, will be that. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know, there's one thing we need to do, right?
What?
That was that case. I gotta save anyway. So, after we save, we'll finish this up. And that ends this episode. It's gonna be split into parts as usual. But, next time on Yu-Gi-Oh! Right! We'll begin the next case. So this is Silver Knight signing off, along with my co-host and assistant. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Peace!